All right, welcome back. So our altitude to the hypotenuse lesson. So the first thing we're going to see here, right, is we're taking what's called the altitude to the hypotenuse of a right triangle. So I start with the right triangle. Okay, remember we called this our chopped out, right, like our motorcycle, right triangle. And what we mean by that is that we're drawing a short leg here, and we're drawing a very long leg extending out the front. So we're exaggerating that distance. All right? And what we're doing now is we are dropping an altitude in this triangle. So we started with a right angle at the top here, and I just created two more right angles. And remember what we talked about before. These triangles are all similar to one another, okay? So if the altitude is drawn, it cuts this into three right triangles, and these three triangles are now all similar to each other. Now, remember we talked about before, when I draw the altitude in, it cuts this into coming back to it, two separate triangles. So this went from being a hypotenuse down here, and now we're creating these legs of the figure. And when we draw the line in, it's going to cut this into a short leg on one side and a longer leg on the other. And so this triangle on the right, this part right here is going to be the long leg of this triangle, which means that this is the short leg here, okay? So in this triangle over here, see it? I have a short leg here and a long leg there. This triangle on the left, that's kind of standing up like this, okay? This piece is the short leg, and that's the long leg. And then these pieces out here, this is where the hypotenuse is across from the right angle. And then in my original figure, we have a short leg, long leg, and a hypotenuse. So every time we do this, we're going to want to take our triangles, draw our three chopped out right triangles, label them, and then we're going to look to cross multiply and solve. All right? Now, number one here, we want to say what similarity statement can we write relating the three triangles in the diagram. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw three triangles that look just like this one, okay? So I start with my first one, where this is x, y, and z. I have a medium one underneath it, okay, which would represent this triangle. So if this is my 90-degree angle, that's where W is. And then W kicks up to this part here, so this is Y, and then this is over to Z. And then I have my small triangle over here, okay? So you can see W is still where the right angle is, so this is W. X extends out this way, okay? And then Y gets kicked out over here. All right? Well, you guys can't even see that. That's what that's going to look like, okay? So it says, can you write a similarity statement? So similarity statement is just like a congruence statement, which is a triangle ABC is congruent to, except we're going to use the symbol. That's a little squiggly line, the tilde. So I know that triangle XYZ is similar to triangle one below it. If I said X, I need to say YWZ here, right? YW for the right angle Z. So YWZ, okay? And then triangle YWZ is similar to one underneath, right? Which is YXWY. And then the last one is going back to the original in this. The triangle XYZ is similar to XWY. And those are our three similarity statements. Okay? All right, now, we're going to go back to the similarity statement, right? So, once again, I'm going to draw my triangles, three triangles, so they look like this. So what similarity statement can we write? And then what, from the similarity statement, write two different proportions using SR and SP. So let's start with the first one. I'm going to draw my triangles so they look just like the original. So here's one chopped out right triangle. I'm going to draw one underneath it. It's a little bit smaller. And then we draw our mini-me, so to speak, right? Okay, So we have Q, P is the right angle, R. We have S is our right angle in the medium one. Then its small leg here is where P is, and the longer leg is R. And then the third one, S is where the right angle is. Q is the short leg over here. And then P is where the longer leg goes. So we can do for A, let's do triangle QPR. And then we're going to keep that order the same. PSR. Let's keep going. Let's do an extended one. It's similar to triangle QSP. So what we're saying is this triangle is similar to that one, this one's similar to that one, and then these two at the end are similar to each other. Okay? And if you don't, that gets a little confusing. We're just going to write them again. Triangle PSR is similar to triangle QSP, and then triangle QPR is similar to triangle QSP. All right? And there's our similarity statements. So from letter B, all right, we want ratio SR and SP. So if you look at this first triangle here, right, SR, this is the long leg, SP is the short leg, okay? So when we compare that to our triangles, we got long leg, short leg. So in the big triangle, this is the long leg and this is the short leg. So using these two triangles, if I do SR over SP, okay, SR over SP, long leg over short leg, this is going to equal, in this triangle, long leg, which is PR, over PQ. Now that's the top two triangles, okay? If I use the bottom two triangles, same thing, SR over SP, remember, long leg, short leg, so it's long leg, short leg, is going to be this side, SP, over this side, QS. All right? And that's how this is going to work. You're just looking for the sides and the triangles that are corresponding, and you're going to create a proportion. All right, so let's do a couple. So, procedure here, remember, is 3 steps. 1, draw our chopped out triangles. 2, okay, label the sides. And then 3, create proportion and solve. Okay? Yeah, that's supposed to be the word solve right there. All right. So here we go. Starting with the first drawing. I have my figure. I got altitude drawn to the hypotenuse, so I know it's going to be my chopped out right triangles. So I extend this out. Okay? I do one underneath. And then I have a smaller one underneath that. Remember, all the right angles here, just like the original, they're at the top. Okay? And then we're going to talk about our side length. So in this original big triangle, the only thing I know is that this side here is 15, which is the hypotenuse on this side. Okay? In the medium-sized triangle, which is this one, we have a short leg here, we have a long leg here, and we have the hypotenuse on this side. So 12 is our long leg, right? Hypotenuse is down here, so that makes the long leg of this side 12. And then the short leg is, oh, we don't have anything there yet, right? But remember, it's asking us in the question to find the length of CD. So we want to make sure that we call that something, and we'll use a variable here. I'll use X. So this side is the short leg in this medium-sized triangle, and so I can put it over here. So I have the short leg and the long leg, that's X and 12 in that triangle. And if I come over to the triangle on the left here, the shorter triangle, the smaller one, okay, I have X, which is now the long leg in this triangle. So notice it's the short leg in the triangle on the right, and it becomes a long leg in the triangle on the left, okay? So that's X, and 3 here, that's the short leg. So in my triangles, I'm looking for pairs of sides that are in the same position. These two are in the same position, these two are in the same position. I don't have anything to go with those up there. So I'm going to make a proportion out of those two triangles right here. So I can do X over 12 equals, and then we're going to do the bottom. If we want X, we're going to go this side, so that's 3 over X. So x over 12, 3 over x. Or, if you wanted to go from top to bottom, we would do x from the top over 3 equals 12 over that x there. So it's x over 3, 12 over x. And you notice that if we cross multiply, we're going to get the same thing either way. So when I do cross multiply, 12 times 3 is 36, x times x is x squared, and then from here we're going to take the square root. Now remember, technically there's two answers here. There's 6 or there's negative 6 as answers to that equation of x squared equals 36. We're going to ignore the second answer. All right, the negative. And it's not that we're ignoring it. What we're telling ourselves here, and what we should be thinking is, I'm talking about the length of a triangle, and I can't have a negative length. So they know the answer is just going to be positive 6. All right, and then moving on to number 4. Don't get confused with roof trusses. Just giving you this lovely shape right here. So, got a drawing below. We have right angle ABC, so that's the angle up here. I have the altitude is 4, and it says DC is 6 meters longer than AD. So when I ask myself this, it's which of these do I need to know first? And the answer is AD, because DC is 6 meters longer than this. So this is going to get x, and 6 longer than that is x plus 6. And remember, that tells us that this side is actually a combo here, which is x plus 6, or 2x plus 6. Okay? And so what are we going to do? We're going to do our normal routine. We draw 3 chopped out right triangles. 1, 2, 3. Notice that they're getting smaller each time. Okay? We're going to go to the big triangle. What do we know? Well, we just have this side down here, which is just 2x plus 6. We have our triangle on the right, which is our medium-sized triangle. What size do we have? Remember, the hypotenuse is over here. We don't have that. So I have the short leg here, and I have the long leg here. So short leg is 4, long leg is x plus 6. And now I come to my small triangle. I have a short leg, I have the long leg, and I don't have this side. That's the hypotenuse. So short leg is x, long leg is 4, and now you can see that I don't have anything to match these here. I have this side here, so I have these two sides in this triangle, and the same two sides down here, and we're going to make a proportion out of those. So I do 4 over x is equal to, we went 4 to x, so when we go back, x plus 6 to 4. Cross multiply. So 16 is equal to, and we distribute x times x, right? It's really this. So it's 16 equals x squared plus 6x. And then I'm going to bring that 16 over. So 0 is x squared plus 6x minus 16. From here, we're going to do our little diamond, right? The top is AC, bottom is B. So 1 times negative 16 is negative 16. The middle is 6. And then two numbers that multiply to give me negative 16, or 16 themselves, is like 16 and 1, 2 and 8. And to get 6, it's got to be positive 8, and then negative 2. So in my figure, I know it's going to factor out to be x plus 8, first parentheses, second parentheses, x minus 2. And now we're going to set each equal to 0 and solve. So bring it up here. So I have x plus 8 is equal to 0, which means x is equal to negative 8. Or x minus 2 is equal to 0, which shows that x is equal to 2. Now, we know that can't be an answer. I can't have negative lengths, right? So we're going to reject this. Okay? And we're just going to put down no negative length. So we know that x is equal to 2. Be careful, because it's asking us to find the length of the base AC, which is this whole side. So if x is 2, that means this side is 2, and this is really 2 plus 6, which is 8. So that means that AC is actually equal to 10. All right, that's number 4. And I'll do one more with you guys, and then I'll leave you guys to finish for the extra credit, the homework. All right, this one's a little bit different because it's getting us a different side this time. So in the diagram below, our triangle, right triangle ACB, altitude CD is drawing, once again, altitude to the hypotenuse. So AB is 6, right? AD is 6. AC is 12. And it's asking me to find the length of AD, which is this side down here. Okay? So once again, we're going to draw out our 3 chopped out right triangles. All right? And we're going to label what we know. In the big triangle, I have this side, which is 12, and this whole side down here, which is a hypotenuse, which is 36. In the medium-sized triangle on the right, I don't have anything. There's nothing over here. Technically, I could figure out what this side is because I could use the Pythagorean Theorem, right? And I could do 12 squared plus b squared is equal to 36 squared, and I could actually figure out what that is. So if you need to, if you only have 2 sides that don't match, you can always go find the third side of your triangle, and just keep that in mind as you work along. All right, and this is not a nice number, so don't even worry about it. But that's how you would get it. So now, in the medium-sized triangle, we don't have anything, but in the small triangle, we have x and 12. Remember, the right angle's here, so 12 is the hypotenuse, x is a short leg, and now you can see that I'm matched up with these pairs of sides. So I can do my proportion, 12, right, over x is equal to 36 over 12. I cross multiply, 144 is equal to 36x. All right, divide out, and I believe we're going to get 6. Nope, 4. And so x here is equal to 4. Now the question is that what we were looking for? And it is. So now I can make my answer. All right. So same thing with this one down here. Remember, you're looking for the length of BD, so call that x. And when you do your triangles, you're actually going to need to figure out the length of this piece. So I'll let you see if you can do that on your own. All right, guys? Remember, homework tonight on the back are the evens, so 8 and 20. Okay? Notice that there's 2 letters here. So just when you get to number 18, you're still going to draw out your 3 triangles. Okay? Just keep in mind, though, that like this whole side is 12. The hypotenuse, x is the long leg. So you need to pair up another hypotenuse long leg somewhere so that you can help get that answer. Y, you can see in the second one, right? I have hypotenuse here is x. The long leg here is 9. And look at, there's my set. And then the short leg is y. So I could use these 2 guys to get x. And then in the little triangle, we have a short leg of 3. We have a long leg of y. Right? And I'm going to have to use these guys, so after I get x, I can then figure out y. So in this first question, we're going to use these 2, x and 12, 9 and x, to figure out what x is. Once you get that answer, you can use that answer to figure this out. All right? So good luck today, guys. If you need anything, let me know. But that's it for today. Oh, also, don't forget down here, you guys are doing 38 and 40. All right? Best of luck. Have any questions, feel free to send me a remind message, and I'll see you guys on Monday.